And I'm Davita, and you're listening to
Let's Chat.
Hey, Leah.
Hi, Mommy.
How's it going?
Good.
So today we're going to be talking about something. What are we talking about, Leah?
Black representation in media.
Yes. So Black representation in media is a topic that we often find ourselves talking about because we consume a lot of content.
Yes. A lot.
A lot. Do you think I watch more than you do?
Yeah, you watch way more than I do.
Yeah, I watch way more. As we shared in our episode, our year in review, we talked about all the different shows that we watched during the pandemic. But even pre-pandemic,
Yeah.
I watched about
You watched a lot of TV, but it's like mainly cable though. So
It is. Cable, well, yeah, I do. I watch a lot of network television shows. And the DVR is always full of all my shows. You watch a lot of digital stuff.
Yes.
Like,
I do.
what are some of the things you watch?
I watch Netflix. I watch I guess you can say Disney Plus when I want to. I watch a lot of YouTube.
A lot of YouTube.
Yeah.
Y'all all watch a lot of YouTube.
But it grew during the quarantine, so
Yeah.
that's pretty much it.
So, like, what kind of things do you watch on YouTube?
I watch BuzzFeed Unsolved, Murder Mysteries.
Oh my God,
Yep.
you and the murder. Help, Lord. Okay.
That I watch like interviews. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. So I can't really get on you about the murder shows because a lot of
yeah. You watch a lot of doctor shows. So.
I do. I watch a lot of doctor shows. I watch a lot of court shows. But the one thing that's really important to me when I'm watching shows is that it has a strong Black lead. So a lot of the shows that I tend to consume tend to include, especially, so a lot of Black leads and then a lot of women leads. Okay. Those are important to me. Fine. What's important to you when you think about Black representation in media?
That it shows a good side and not like the ghetto side of things.
Do that again. The ghetto side of things.
Yeah. Right? That's pretty much it. Like, I want it to be like a nice representation of us instead of like the bad things.
So what do you see as the good things?
Like Black people being doctors, like Doc McStuffins. That was the first one that I was really like, oh my God. She looks like me. Yeah.
That's really important.
Yeah. Doctors, like police officers, all those important things, roles like Black women, Black people in general, just being there.
As being there and being positive. So according to some research, because you know your mother love a good piece of research.
Yes.
According to some research I read, 2 in 3 Black Americans don't feel they see their stories represented on screen, according to a new study from National Research Group. The study, entitled #Representation Matters, also found that 67% of Americans across political ideologies and ethnicities, just like you couldn't say representation, ethnicities, feel there is a greater need for on-screen representation of all of the following: mixed-race individuals, Black men, Black women, Black children, Black teenagers, Black gay men, Black gay women, Black transgender men, Black transgender women, Black non-binary or genderqueer, Black men with disabilities, and Black women with disabilities. Additionally, 74% of those polled reported that content being inclusive, representing different cultures or people, is a key factor when they are choosing what they will watch. Is that true for you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I just need everything. I don't care what it is. I just need, like, everything into one. But I also don't want it to be forced.
Right.
Because I see a lot of things where it's like, oh, if your friend group is all right, there's something wrong with that. Like, it's who you're close with. And the same thing with shows, like, you guys can't force that because it's the way of the world. So when I see a lot of people saying, like, oh my gosh, the diversity is forced, it's like, no, it isn't. It's how the world is.
It's how the world
That's
is.
how teenagers are.
Right. So talk a little bit more about that. Like, teenagers being more inclusive than what?
Then, okay, so I want to say the older generation,
You
but
can
the
say
older
the older
generation, because that's what we learned from.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's where we get a lot of our influence from, is
Mm-hmm.
like how we were raised and how our parents thought of things to tell us to think of these things.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we get to an age where, like, okay, I don't think like that anymore, so I can't, like, listen to what you say all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's kind of upsetting when I see some people being like, oh, my mom told me I can't hang out with black people. And it's like, you're kind of like 13. You can make your own decisions about that type of thing. So,
You think kids 13 make their own decisions?
no, but, like, sometimes you don't need to listen, like, that intently. Like, if it's something, let's say it's something that you don't agree with, like, then you don't have to listen like that.
Okay. We're going to agree to sort of disagree on that little point there, because
Okay.
I feel I agree with you on the point where parents telling their children that they can't have friends of a certain, religion or a certain ethnic background. I don't think that that's right, because like you said, it's the way of the world. Like the world, especially for those of us living in New York, you can walk down a block and you're passing an Asian person, you're passing a Hispanic person, you're passing a black person, a white person. It's everybody.
Yeah.
So you definitely shouldn't only, have friends that quote unquote look like you. So I agree. And I think that it's really important in media that we are represented properly and that you see the full diaspora. So not just upwardly mobile black people, and then not just black people who aren't doing well, or not just rich white people, but middle class white people too. Like we should be able to see everybody represented in the shows that we watch. So I agree with you in that it is very important. What else you want to say about that part?
That's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
That's all you got on black representation?
No, but you said on that part. So
Okay,
it's like,
sorry. Wrong words.
Yeah.
So what else, what other thoughts do you have about representation?
Personally, I like seeing black people, like, represented or whatever. Like, let's say Soul. That was, like, really cool for me. I was like, oh, wow, it's a black dude. And, like, the barbershop scene, spoiler, sorry. That whole thing was so cool. And a lot of people got down on movies like that, like Princess and the Frog, like, because they weren't human for so long. And it's like, I mean, at least you're getting it. Like, you got something. Like, okay.
So your opinion on that is, okay, so he wasn't a man the whole movie, his voice, etc. In that movie, he turned into the cat.
Yes.
And in Princess and the Frog, they turned into frogs. And most movies that have strong cartoons, I would say, that have strong black leads, like they kind of change them into something else.
Yeah.
So what is your thought about that? How do you feel about that?
Sometimes it feels kind of wrong, but then at the other time, it's just like, I mean, they did what they had to do to make the movie interesting. Because if, like, a lot of people are saying that they wish it was more about the music and that whole thing, but I don't feel like I would watch the whole thing if it was just about, like, music, and they couldn't find a way to make it more interesting. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Like,
yeah, I understand, and I kind of agree with you on those points that it's important to have that representation in general.
yeah, instead of just, like,
Right.
yeah.
So it's like we have to get to a point where, not to say that we're happy with what we get, but know that we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
There have definitely been some other things, some shorts and things like that have come out. We watched Canvas on Netflix that was all a full black cast, which was absolutely beautiful. We recommend that everyone check out Canvas. It's a very sweet story about a older gentleman whose wife passed away and his granddaughter is painting just like him. So that was a really good representation of black people in media. So it is important. So what other, outside of just television, what are some other areas in which
Oh, sorry to cut you off.
It's okay.
But the other day, I was, like, scrolling through Instagram, whatever, and someone, I don't know if it's true because I never read the book, but in, like, books, like, Divergent, like, they described her as black, but in the movie they put her as white. Or, like, they do a lot of, in books, they do a lot of, like, black characters, and, like, she had dark brown skin, and then they put a light-skinned person with, like, light curls instead of like really kinky like hair, and it low-key gets on my nerves. Like go with the description.
Right. So can
they
I
give
tell
you one for a
you
reason.
about the most famous and the bestseller of the world?
Sure.
That did the same thing.
What?
The Bible.
Oh.
They whitewashed Jesus. So, if they whitewash Jesus, they'll whitewash anybody else. And again, not to say that, anything about my brothers and sisters of the lighter, fairer complexion, but like you said, the description clearly depicted him as having woolly hair, but the pictures that you see of Jesus in most churches, he don't look like the description. So yeah, it is. It's disheartening to see that our representation is seen as negative, because why else would you change it, right? If you feel like a Black person would not be accepted in a role like Divergent or, all these other books that we have read that clearly the lead character is of color. Maybe not Black, but Middle Eastern or whatever, is seen as somebody that wouldn't be seen well on screen or on film. It is disheartening. So what do you think you, as a content consumer, can do?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
What do you want me to do? Contact the director and be like, hey, can y'all change this?
Well, guess what? You have power.
I know.
How do you think you have power?
No, I don't know.
Okay, so you have power in that if you don't watch it, their ratings will go down. And then,
if I try it out, then I'm still watching it. And it's just I think about that all the time. When people are like, oh, don't watch this. And I want to watch it now. So, why am I not watching it?
Yeah, that's hard. That's the same way as, don't eat that. Why?
Yeah.
I want to eat it now.
I want to try it.
Yeah. Whenever somebody tells
making
you.
such a big fuss about it. I want to try it. I want to be included.
Not to being included.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. So, yeah, interesting enough, it is about inclusion, and everybody wants to be included. Everybody wants to be seen and acknowledged, and there's nothing wrong with that. But as a consumer, you can say what you want to consume and what you don't want to consume. If you don't believe that it represents people that, just like some movies, I'll see that is really gutter, and I'm like, I'm not going to watch that. Not going to do it. Television shows as well. So we have to be selective about what we consume. That goes, for the things that we watch, read, listen to.
Not the listen to.
Yes, the listen to. All that cussing. No.
What?
That's for another show.
Yes, it is. It is. Yep, it is.
That is a topic for another show. Well, anything else you want to say on this topic? No, you good?
Yeah.
You think we covered it? We believe that everybody should be included in everything, and that inclusion is really important.
Yes.
Yes.
Very much.
Very much so. Well, that concludes another episode of Let's Chat with Leah and Davida.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much for listening. What are your thoughts on Black representation in media? We want to hear from you.
Yes.
So hit us up on Instagram.
At Let's Chat _podcast.
Twitter.
Let's Chat _podcast.
And for you old heads like me, Gmail.
Let's chat.podcastwith@gmail.com.
That's right. We really look forward to hearing from you guys. And we will be live on YouTube very, very soon.
Yes.
Thank you so much for listening.
Bye.
Bye-bye.